Friends, am I audible? Am I visible? Am I audible? I am. Am I visible? I am starting. Today, I'll read out from Mahakal Kathan, Volume 2. Volume 2. This was to Dr. Pabitra Mohan Rai in 4th February 1963. The total part in English, and naturally this is in the volume 2 of Mahakal Kathan. Last night I thought, when I was going through my files, I thought possibly this part is not published in any of the volume 1 or 2 of Mahakal Kathan. Now I see it is already in the volume 2. Anyway, I am reading. Slowly I am reading. DR.PABITRA, love and blessings. Pabitra dear, you are an educated person. You possess quite fair intelligence. You have had a taste of politico revolutionary activities. You also understand something about double talking and double crossing of puerile politics. Puerile means silly. And you might, in bracket, as well, consider yourself to be on active list, bracket closed, a military officer, and that too in guerrilla band, trained specially for intelligence work. Good. ... This part we could not decipher from the document. As much as such and so. You know that there are rules and rules, reports and reports, decisions and decisions, acts and acts, orders and orders, laws and laws. Don't you? Good. Again, you also understand and know that there are types of rules, reports, decisions, acts, orders, and laws which might be permitted to be tailored, fabricated, altered, and or denied, if and as circumstances directed, in bracket, for which the source shall not be punished, bracket closed. But you also know fully well that there are rules, reports, acts, order, and laws which cannot be permitted, those privileges which are sacrosanct under national and international laws. You know these yourself very well, because you have had been on the very verge of paying the highest price which a person can give for a cause, in bracket, one's very life, one's very life. Yes, this man was sentenced to death, very life. My divine mother Jagadamba Durga saved you, to save me. That's my belief. I hope you fully understand what a five-star general means. Five-star general means, we have given a note below. Possibly he is speaking in the reference of the US military in the World War II, comparing the fate of General Eisenhower and General MacArthur. He is an autocrat, all powerful in the sphere and range of activities, with all the sanctions and powers of his government behind him to back him to the hilt. He is subject to none, not even the defense secretary. He gets his orders from the head of the states, and only the head of the state, in his capacity of the head of the state and supreme commander in chief, can take him to task. You know all this. Saurabh Mondal? Yes, good evening. There are only two five-star generals I have mentioned in the note below in the world. One honored to the highest degree and in grace, another dismissed and in disgrace. General Mack was a five-star general. I remember this. Like an emperor, he was absolute. His name has become synonymous with the war. He was supreme commander with all civil, military, and judicial powers concentrated in him. You can fully understand and comprehend what his reports to his only superior means. You can well imagine what highest degree of academical and statecraft and military qualifications and must in a man, what standing qualities, a leadership, a loyalty, obedience to orders, fanatical faith and integrity a person must have and prove to be invested with the rank of five-star general. Mack had in bracket, and I honestly declare he has all these qualities, all this and more, and so he rose to the pinnacle. And as I have told you, this name has become synonymous with war. That is General MacArthur, means war. Before the date of Jap surrender, for 10 months, yes, before this date, Jap had been constantly trying and seeking for peace and surrender terms. Every general, every diplomat, the Pentagon, the Secretary of War, the Secretary of State, and the President Supreme Commander in Chief, the British generals, ambassadors, and Supreme CNC know it. Jap was frantically trying to get and have some sort of peace and surrender terms to lay down her arms. Some high generals and ambassadors reported and sent dispatch 7 to 9 months before that fatal date. Japan is defeated for all practical purposes. It was time to dictate conditions, but the Jap government feelers remained unresponded. Yes. This if you this is Mahakal's Kathan. If you can easily corroborate from the declassified files. Japan was really frantically trying, appealing to different levels of the USA for some terms of surrender. But America did not respond. British did not respond. Then, without the last warning, without anyone knowing about why, what for, or even the necessity of what, two successive A bombs, means atom bombs, were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. To everyone with the knowledge of the Jap situation, without reason and rhyme, the whole world, including the perpetrators of the ghoulish crime, Nippon shuddered, died. You know the aftermath? Time passed on. Then the whole world sat up, startled, with the news of five-star General MacArthur's dismissal and divestation from and of his past position and all authorities and grace by the Supreme CNC, the President. Why he was dismissed? Everyone rubbed his eyes. Everyone asked everyone. Why? What for? No one knew the real cause. Everyone remained guessing. The dismissal order was simple enough. You are recalled and relieved forthwith for failing to carry out order. A five-star general and such a ignoble end, and has such an ignoble end. He was not dismissed when he had to accept defeat and retreat from Philippines. And he was not dismissed when he retreated from Philippines. War theater. But he was not dismissed. He was not dismissed during war. He was not dismissed for any lapses anywhere. And all of a sudden, this, after the Jap capitulation, the supreme overall commander, five-star General MacArthur, had to report to his only superior with all possible details, a final report, formally. Also, he had to send a formal report, official report, to his British counterpart, though of lesser, Prince Louis, the gist of which formal report was. What was the report? Final report? Subhash Chandra Bose has escaped again. Subhash Chandra Bose has escaped again. That was the report from MacArthur. The Prince Louis, this much was sufficient. To Prince Louis, this was sufficient, but to his master, Mac had to report in detail. Do you understand the weight and force of this report? The mighty Himalayas can be moved and for proved false, but not that report of all reports of five-star General Mac to his superior commander-in-chief. Such reports are incontrovertible. They have to be, because that is a report from supreme authority to his superior. He is to see to it that his reports be 100% correct. on which depends his everything: position, honor, and even life. There was absolutely no necessity of those two hellish atom bombs, ABS. But it was dropped. You know whose strategy got Singapore? You know whose strategy got Singapore? The much vaunted largest and biggest impregnable base in the world as per British officials' question. Then came the three provinces of India proper, recognized, Allied High Command, more particularly the UK, became extremely jittery. The whole country was seething. They became panicky, stricken with the certainty of the whole country, including the forces, shall rise to revolt the moment comes down to the plains. There was absolutely no time to lose. Every moment was precious and vital. Every day was given clarion call: I am coming, I have come, we shall reach Delhi. In no time, once we get down to the plains, hold on, Mahatmaji, hold on. Oh, he had to be stopped, come what may, because he shall not give any quarter to the alien forces and nationalities. He must be stopped. It was UK which forced the hands of Truman. Nagasaki and Hiroshima were the only two ports disembarkation. Everything came to a shuddering stop. To get at one single man at all costs, the pre-arrangements and precautions against him for every possible move by and single man were foolproof. The League was literally riddled. The League, that is the Indian Independence League, was literally riddled with their men, that is the enemy, their men. The forces, his forces, were packed with their hand-picked men. Enemies enter into the Indian Independence League. Even the immediate civils surrounding him was not without their men, posing and taken as most trusted. Enemies had infiltrated into the IIL. That he means Mac had this most imperative direction, and he was 100% sure, of his cards. But Mac good straight. Mac counted without his lost. He, with his vast CE and British ally, pitted all his cunnings with the brains of mere fakir. Fakir means Mahakal, a fanatic of his only god, his motherland. Mac had to report Subhas has escaped again. He was beaten to his own game. Every single inch was combed. Combing operation was held to capture Subhash Chandra, capture Netaji. Every single inch was combed. Combing operation. He was seen. Even 4-5 days after the crash with some other persons. Yes, that is also in Transfer Power of Volume 6. He was seen few days after The plane crash story broadcast. He was seen in Saigon. He was seen in Saigon even after few days of the broadcast of plane crash. He was seen in Saigon. That is the report in Transfer of Power Volume 6. Yes, that's the fact. He was seen on the roads. He was seen in the restaurants taking refreshments and smoking by the, who has seen? It is the ECA of USA, intelligence person. Men of the Britishers also seen. Staff and also by others. Even the same plane was seen taking off on another day. The Jab general who was reported dead in the crash signed peace treaty. The general who is declared dead in the plane crash, in which Subhash Chandra Bose Netaji is dead, that same general has signed peace treaty subsequently. All this and this more were reported to the State Department and President. The curtain dropped. কান টানলে মাথা আসে, আর দুই দুই যোগ করলে চার হয়. Jab government became a suspect forever, and rightly too. At that time, Mac himself for several years saw to it that Jab became America, because MacArthur became the subsequent ruler of USA. MacArthur. He wanted the completion of his work, but no one out of sight knows why he was dismissed. Anyway, where could that dead man move self? Where could he stay? Why all the powers cunning, rights and endeavors could not get him? There was but only one place at that time, and still is, excepting another two. The very same powers are now standing astride over India, and there is another in a friend's guise. আমি 1 ঘন্টা পরে কথা বলবো. So, you or anyone, for the matter of fact, mean to suggest that if the really true dead is found out anywhere, he shall be worshipped and Heligus will be sung. This what I could not understand. Just tell me frankly, if anyone thinks so or says so, then what shall you and your good wife think of those persons? Does this simple point need more elucidation? Let them tell me why Dr. Mukherjee was done away with. Does this simple point need more elucidation? Let them tell me why Dr. Mukherjee, that Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, was done away with. Why? Why? Everyone knows it, and he was a signatory, and it was only for his supporting that JN could get two very big things done, entirely in his, that is Jain's favor. Then Dr. M, that is Mukherjee, openly threatened to undo the wrongs, and he challenged Jain They are stopping him, the price he paid. And then Professor Dr. Mukherjee paid the price. Why the so called vocal savior of Bengal gulped this murder down? This so called vocal savior. Possibly he is indicating B.C. Rai. I could not, I could not, I am not sure. Why these valiants of Bengal have not uprooted New Delhi and Allahabad and thrown them into the Ganges and gained the Bhalla. I do not know what is the meaning. Why they have kept quiet? The fool dot 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 fools and of Mother Bengal. There are dot dot dot. I could not decipher this area. Even a dead could see, though the game is not it. You tell me, Pavitra, can any persons believe who is not USA, UK, Jane S can live scot free in this free world? Tell me, here and now, shall your mother Bengal, Janani Janmabhumis dot dot ever be USA, UK, JNs? Can he ever be UK, USA, JNs? Can he? Can you, your good wife, ever think that S means Subhas is capable of being such a turncoat? Has he come down on this earth of Mother Bengal to be this? Has he sacrificed his whole life to this end? I think it is quite correct to state that not a single person has had been persecuted, tortured, and penalized, body, mind, and soul by Britishers as they did your dead man. I think it is quite correct to state that not a single person has had been persecuted, tortured, and penalized, body, mind, and soul by the Britisher as they did your dead man. They were terribly afraid even to contain him in India. Do you, in all, how much time? Okay. Honesty, think that these four shall or can become bosom friends? If, as you declare, the Bengal of today has found its lost son, thus Bengalis believe that he is he, and as they are crying themselves hoarse, declaring it to be dot dot, then I, as a plain man with no brain, say this: there is absolutely no sense in arranging sabhas and meetings and splitting your throat and also sending propagator from the ashram. Yes, is indicating ashram, a rebuking ashram, that Solmari ashram. And I say, you are 100% true. Please reunite as before with the family members, and unite with his family members, and unite with his wives and son turned daughter. Wife and son turned daughter is rebuking, abusing, because these Bengalis and his family members, after the death of the elder means Sharat Chandra Bose, have declared them to be true. I say, do this quick, and and part 2, I cannot understand what is the meaning. Be you all happy, and suck your thumbs, and dance with sheer joyous abandon. There will be Shanti, Shanti, Shanti throughout India. Why all this building up over years? They first sending out Procharoks and then recalling them with disclaimer. After main purpose of Procharoks has been served, why all these Sabhas, committees over the year? He is rebuking all these activities of ashram and their propaganda, Sabhas and Samitis, all this is rebuking. Why declaring contra? আবার উল্টো কথা কেন বলছো? All these factors point to only one conclusion. It is a building up game. It is a game. It is a building up game. And the person or persons who are pulling the strings have not yet considered the building up fully adequate. That's why they have not yet given the go signal, and so it is still required that, and the baboons should go on hollering till the time opportune. Does your dead man require all this build up? Does your dead man require all this build up? Does he require sending out and recalling propagators? Does he need all these sabhas, committees, lectures, discussions for and against for his establishment? Does he need to build up following? Reviewing the activities of this Sholmari group and this Balak Brahmachari group. Is this his ittefaq, itmad and kurbani? Is this his ittefaq, is itmad and kurbani? Was it and is it your real dead man's manner of work? Is this, was it and is it your real dead man's manner of work? একেই কি সর্বস্ব বলিদান, আত্মবলিদান বলে? একেই কি মাতৃসেবার কঠোরতম নিয়ম পালন বলে? ঢাকঢোল বাজিয়ে কঠোর তপস্যা হয় না, হয়নি কখনো। সত্যি আমি চাই যে তিনি হন অগ্রজের স্বর্গবাসের পর, যখন নিজ নিজ ক্ষুদ্র স্বার্থের জন্য বাড়ি পর্যন্ত যে মানে জওহরলাল অ্যান্ড কোম্পানির হাতে নিজেদের বেচে দিয়েছেন, মানে ফ্যামিলি মেম্বার বেচে দিয়েছেন নিজেদেরকে, তখন আর বাকি কি থাকলো? কিছুই বাকি নেই। এখন সবই সম্ভব। আমি হৃদয় মন দিয়ে চাই তিনি হন। ওর বাড়ির সকলে, আপনারা বাঙালি নির্বিশেষে সকলেই, যে মানে জহর অ্যান্ড কোম্পানি সকলেই ওর একটির পর অন্যটিতে বদলে যাওয়া স্ত্রী এবং পুত্র থেকে 3 বছর 4 বছর পরে আয়ু না বেড়েও কন্যায় রূপান্তরিত হওয়া এবং জগতে অসম্ভব গর্ভকাল সত্ত্বেও বদলে যাওয়া কন্যা, সবাই ওকে নিয়ে সুখে থাকুন এবং বাংলাদেশ বিশ্বভারতের সাম্রাজ্য হোক। সত্যি আমি এই চাই। একথা এই সর্বহারা ফকিরের একমাত্র বেঁচে থাকা সর্বসাধন আমার মা জগদম্বা দুর্গার নামের দিব্যি দিয়ে বলতে পারি। শুধু চাই বাঙালিরা ওকে সব মনে রেখে বিশ্বভারত বিজয়ী হোক। শুধু চাই যদি বাংলাদেশ বলে কোনো দেশ থাকে, আমি জানি না ঠিক, তবে নেই, বঙ্গদেশ বিশ্বভারতের সাম্রাজ্ঞী হোক। বাংলার যে মহান বাণী বিশ্বকে উদ্বুদ্ধ করবার জন্যই আছে, সেই মহান বাণী, সেই সঞ্জীবনী মন্ত্র বিশ্বকে সহস্র বৎসরের জন্য উদ্বলিত করুক। জয় হিন্দ। আমি আজ কোনো ব্যাখ্যা দেব না। আই উইল explain nothing. Let me stop. There is about 40 minutes. Let me stop. This I have read. Maybe someone had already read from the published volume, second volume of Mahakal Kathan. Maybe those friends who are not acquainted with Bengali, they may hear from this or may collect this volume to read it and try to find out meanings, the deeper meanings, the meanings, significance in between the lines, in between the words. Let me stop here. Let me stop here. Shubharatri.